Hey K-Babes, welcome back to my channel. My name is MiKayla. If you guys are a recurring subscriber and you're back, I am back. I have missed YouTube so much, and I am sorry that I've literally kept leaving you guys hanging for like months, years at a time, but I'm back and I'm ready to roll, and I'm super motivated right now, and I really want to get back into my YouTube game because I miss you guys, and I miss YouTube, and I miss filming, and I miss editing for you guys. So I'm ready to get back into it for you, and I'm ready to just grow my channel more, you know. Hopefully you guys will be seeing more vlogs on this channel because that's what I really want to try and get into, but you also will be seeing more of the sit down videos as well. So today's video, to start off my welcome back, I thought I would give you an update video, but then I decided no, there's too much that happened in my life since then. Since like the last time I was on YouTube. So I decided to tell you one story. It's a story time. This happened to me back in April. During the entire month of April, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. Share the story. Just in case I can help somebody out there who might be going through a similar scenario. Maybe not, because what I went through was very rare for someone my own age, for someone who's 22 years old. But it's very rare, but I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to discuss it with you guys because it just happened to me, and I want to share what happened to me. So sit back, relax, grab a tea, coffee, water, whatever floats your boat, and enjoy hearing about what happened to me back in April. I have a list of bullet points to talk about, so hopefully I don't get super scatterbrained and repeat myself all the time. I'm not even going to tell you what happened to me until it actually happened to me. You'll know what I mean by that. So what happened to me happened throughout my entire month of April. The entire month. Like, this started the first week of April and ended literally the last week of April. So I'm gonna start with the first week when this whole ordeal started. So it started specifically on the 4th of April, which I think was Easter. It started on Easter. I remember we went out to eat with my grandparents for Easter, and I was sitting there. We went back to my grandparents' house after we went out to eat, and I was sitting there and I was like, something does not feel right with my stomach. Like, it felt very off. I couldn't really describe what it was feeling like. It wasn't anything too crazy at the time, so I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, something just doesn't feel right. Eventually, I just ignored it, but that entire week up until like the 9th, so like the next Friday, the coming Friday, I was having weird stomach pains. It was like tolerable, but it was just really annoying. And basically, let me show you where the pain kind of was to begin with that week. It was up here. That's where your pancreas is. But honestly, it just kind of felt like I pulled a muscle, or I slept wrong and it hurt and it was sore, it felt like I had just got done doing an intense ab workout and my muscles were really sore. That's like kind of what it felt like. So I didn't think too much of it. But the problem is the pain never went away that week. And it kind of felt like it was getting worse, and it was starting to be a bit painful when I ate my food. But on the 9th, Friday the 9th, it actually went away a little bit. And I went home that weekend from school. On the 9th, I was fine. I didn't go home on the 9th. I went home on Saturday. I went home on the 10th. I was still fine. The pain went away that weekend, and then I went to church on the 11th of April that morning, and my pain came back, and I thought about taking Advil for the pain, but it wasn't anything super crazy yet, so I just kind of ignored it. But apparently I looked really pale in church that morning, and I just looked horrible. But I honestly wasn't feeling the greatest, but I just kind of made it seem like I was feeling good. And then I went back to school that afternoon feeling, I was in pain, but it wasn't anything crazy. But then on the 12th of April, I had choir rehearsal this day, and my pain grew so bad. Like, it hurt so bad to eat. It hurt to walk. I remember in choir rehearsal, I had such a hard time standing to sing. It was absolutely, I was in so much pain, and I didn't know what was wrong with me at all. And then I made it through that day. Somehow, some way, I made it through that day. And then Tuesday, the 13th, I went to my first class of the day, and literally, I could not bear sitting because I was in so much pain. And I can't remember if the pain, so at one point or another, the pain was up here, and then it was also down here. And it kind of almost felt like period cramps when it was in my lower abdomen. But I was having pains in 2 spots during most of this situation. But yeah, so the 13th, that Tuesday, I remember I was texting my mom. I was like, I can't sit in this class. I don't know what to do. Do I just leave? I don't want to leave. I don't want to miss this class. And this was like nearing the end of the school year. So I was like, I have so much that I have to get done before I graduate and all this stuff. But I was like, I couldn't do it. I raised my hand to my professor and I said, I am sorry. I have to leave. I need to go home to my apartment. And so that's what I did. I called my mom. I was walking back to my on-campus apartment at the time, and I called my mom, and I was crying my eyes out because I was in so much pain, and I didn't know what to do. And she told me, I will come up. She was originally working down like 45 minutes away from my hometown, so she drove literally like 2 hours or so to get up to where my college was, and she took me to the ER in my college town that night. And we were there for so long. We waited in the waiting room more than we were actually in the actual ER. But like, I had such a hard time sitting still in the waiting room because I was in so much pain. Like, I was like rocking back and forth, holding my stomach. Like, it was awful. But we finally got back there. And they did a CAT scan, a pee test, a urine sample, and I think that's all they did at that time. They gave me some pain meds, some pain medication through an IV, which was awful. I hate IVs. I hate needles so much. So they did all that, and they told me I had a ruptured ovarian cyst. I was like, okay. And I had a concert, my last choir concert, the night after on the 14th. And I told her, I was like, will I be okay for this concert? And she told me, yeah, she told me to take Advil or whatever, ibuprofen, and all of this stuff. And so we left the ER, and my mom went home, and I took some medicine, ibuprofen, something. It did not help whatsoever. I think my brain was like, oh, you went to the ER, you'll magically be better in the morning. Nope. That was not the case whatsoever. I did get some sleep, but I did wake up pretty early in the morning in literally excruciating pain. I thought I was hungry, so I tried to eat, couldn't finish my breakfast, and then I tried putting a heating pad on, and that helped a lot. This pain was like going into my lower abdomen the most, but I was still getting some in my upper abdomen. But the heating pad really helped me a lot. So I put that on, and I was finally able to like fall back asleep for a little bit. And I was in and out of sleep that entire morning. Like, I was waking up in awful pain. I was frustrated. I was bawling my eyes out. I was sending videos to my friends, crying my eyes out and complaining and being scared because I didn't know what was happening to me. And so I did that. And then also the pain was going into my back, which was probably also very excruciating. Like, it was not fun. Probably one of the worst parts about it was like the fact that the pain went into my back. And so my mom, she came up that day and she took me home here, my home, because I was like, I'm sorry, I need to be home. There was no way I was going to be able to drive on my own. So she came back up the next morning. She took me home. I started feeling a little bit better, but the pain was still there. And then we decided to go to my primary doctor, who was not in. So we went to a doctor who is in the same office as my primary doctor. And my heart rate was really high and I had a fever. And so the doctor came in and she said, I don't think I can do anything for you right now. I'm going to recommend you go back to the ER, or you go to the ER. And I lost it because I was like, I don't want to go back to the ER. I don't want to get poked again. I don't want an IV again. And so that's where we went. We went back to the ER, and I remember we walked into the ER and we had to go into the office to check in or whatever. And I walked away bawling because I didn't mean to walk away. I just walked away to cry. It wasn't because I didn't want to go. It was also, I was just scared. I was not happy about going back to the ER to get poked again because I knew they were going to give me another IV and all this stuff. Oh, they also took my blood at the first ER trip too. That's what happened. They took my blood too. And so the second ER trip, the day after, they took my blood, urine sample, and CAT scan, and they all told me the same thing. Ruptured ovarian cyst. And then they also saw that my pancreas was a little bit inflamed, so I had to go back a few days later, and I had to get a blood test just to see the numbers for my pancreas, and everything was normal, which was really weird. And you'll know why later. But yeah, but because I was in the ER on that Tuesday, the 14th afterwards, I missed my last choir concert ever. And I was very upset about it because I so wanted to make it to that. But I was just in so much pain. There was no way I was going to make it through the concert itself. And it stunk because that was the only concert that entire year that parents were allowed to come to. So my parents were going to go to this concert and see me perform for my very last time. So it was very sad. After the second ER trip, I stayed home for a few days. I rested my body. Ate a lot of chicken noodle soup, which was disgusting. I really don't like chicken noodle soup. But I ate a lot of that because it actually, it didn't hurt super bad to eat. And then eventually, I think the rest of that week, I was home. And then the week after, it was the last full week of classes. And then finals of the week after, I went back to school and I made it through the entire last week of classes somehow, some way. Thankfully, I had a friend, a very close friend, on campus who picked me up from my apartment and drove me to campus, to wherever I needed to go. By the end of the week, I was walking by myself because I was like, I need to get the exercise. I need to move my body. So yeah, I made it through. I was still in some pain, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was. So I could bear with it. I had to sit, standing up for long periods of time was hard. So I had to sit down a lot. It was very difficult for me to stand, basically. And then the weekend of the 23rd of April, I went home on that Friday, 23rd, Friday the 23rd. And my pain was starting to come back. I remember I was driving home and I was like, I'm in pain right now. And when I got home, I quickly got all of my stuff in my car and quickly brought everything downstairs and changed. out of my clothes into comfy loose clothes because I was in so much pain, and I didn't even unpack. I literally just sat down in the chair and rested because I was in pain. And so I didn't do anything about it until later that night. I went to go to bed and I couldn't sleep because the pain was growing and growing and growing, and it was awful. And then I decided to go upstairs and tell my mom, and I needed help because I was in so much pain. And so I took a bath. During all of this, I took so many baths because baths helped the pain tremendously. I remember my parents telling me that the water bill was super high after all of that happened because I took so many baths. But the night of the 23rd, I took a bath, and that helped while I was in the bath. But like a few seconds after I had gotten out, it like came back really bad. And so I tried curling up in the chair, didn't work. I tried laying on the couch, didn't work. And then I was just in so much pain. I was so frustrated. I got on the floor. I tried laying on the floor for a little bit. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to go to the ER. I didn't want to go to the ER. I didn't want more ER bills to come in. I didn't want my parents to have to pay for another ER trip. But I was in so much pain. I didn't know what else to do. I desperately wanted those pain meds. I wanted an IV so I could get some pain relief. And so I literally crawled into my parents' bedroom because my mom went back into her bed at this time. I crawled into my parents' bedroom. I got on my parents' bedside and I literally said, I think I need to go back to the ER. And so that's what we did. We went back to the ER for a third time, and this was during the night. We were in the ER all night, and they did a CAT scan again on me. They got pain meds in me through an IV, tons of blood work, and a urine sample, and all of that stuff. And when they came back with my results, they told me I have 2 blood clots in 2 main veins of my stomach. And they said this is a very rare case. Not a lot of 22-year-olds get this. They didn't know the cause. And we were concerned. I was terrified because back when I was a sophomore in high school, my dad had a pulmonary embolism. He almost died. Not a lot of people survive pulmonary embolisms. It was a whole ordeal. So, like, we were very scared. I cried. My mom, I don't think, cried. But she was also very scared, too. I know she was. So, yeah, that night, at this point, it was Saturday morning, early. They admitted me into the hospital, and I spent one day in my local hospital. And that first day was hard. I had so much morphine in me. It's kind of hard to remember that day exactly. I had so much anxiety that day. My pain was at a minimum. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't really eating anything that day. I was so scared because it was still hurting every time I ate. But yeah, they got me on heparin, which was blood thinner, to try and thin my blood, and they had to take my blood every 6 hours until like the numbers or whatever in my blood count was like at a specific level, and then they were only going to take my blood like once a day, so like every morning. So I was getting my blood drawn a lot, and I hate needles, guys. I hate needles so much, if I haven't said that already. Yeah, I was really anxious that day. I was thinking about my dad's incident and all this stuff, and at one point I tried to go to sleep, and all of a sudden, like, my chest got really, really, really hot, and then my heart started racing rapidly. Like, my heart rate got up to 165. It was insane. It felt like my heart was like coming out of my chest, is what it felt like. And the doctors were concerned that the blood clot went into my lungs, which was a possibility. So they took me down. The heart rate happened twice in a row. So like my heart rate went back to normal, and then it did it again. They took me to a CAT scan to make sure the blood clots did not go into my chest. They did not. Still have no idea what happened. I am still positive it was anxiety from the stress of the day. So yeah, that happened. I literally remember She was wheeling me in a wheelchair on the way to the CAT scan, and I literally asked, it was the CAT scan nurse and then my nurse who was taking care of me. I literally asked her, I was like, am I going to be okay? And I started crying because I was really nervous, and they said, yeah, you're going to be fine. They kept me calm, which was nice, and I felt so bad for my dad because my dad was in the room while that happened, and I was like, I can't even imagine how he's feeling right now, seeing his daughter have like heart problems. Thankfully my mom wasn't there. Oh my gosh, my mom would have lost it. My dad stayed pretty calm, so that was good, but my mom would have lost it. I know she would. So like, I'm happy that my dad was there, but I still feel bad for it, but like I couldn't help it. Like, it was gonna happen. But like during that entire day too, anytime I would move, my heart rate would skyrocket. Anytime the doctors would talk to me, my heart rate would skyrocket. Every time even once I wanted to cry because I was missing my former pastor. I wanted to cry so bad. My heart rate went up. I literally couldn't cry or else my heart rate was going to go up. Later that night, they told me, we would like to take you to a university hospital just in case I needed surgery, because this university hospital had more equipment, more knowledge of what to do if I needed a specific surgery. They were worried that my colon was going to die and then they would have to do surgery on my colon and yada yada yada. It didn't happen. I was fine. I didn't need surgery, but they transferred me to the university hospital by ambulance. It takes like an hour, little over an hour to get there. So they took me by ambulance. My mom was in the ambulance with me. I hardly remember the ambulance. They put me on so much drugs to keep me calm and help me sleep. And so once we got there, we spent quite some time in the ER. They needed me to do a urine test, all of that stuff. And then they admitted me into the university hospital, and I was in that hospital for 3 days. And this specific stay was very frustrating because it didn't seem like the doctors were literally doing anything. They were taking my blood work and that was it, and I was hardly seeing any of the doctors. It was just really frustrating, and I kept telling the nurses that I have graduation literally this Saturday. I need to get out of the hospital by then because I need to walk that stage. My pain gradually got better. I could tell by being on the blood thinner that they gave me. It got better. I still was having a hard time figuring out what to eat and just eating in general. I ate a lot of goldfish because it was kind of the only thing that really sounded good to me at the time. Yeah, my nurses through this entire process were amazing people, and I was so blessed to have them. And also in the university hospital, I was sharing a room with somebody. The first night I was there, I had an awful roommate, and then she left the next morning, and then I had a great roommate. I loved her. We had a competition as to who was going to leave first. I won. I got out of the hospital on a Tuesday, and that was the day everything was super speedy fast. I think my nurse kind of talked to them about it and said, hey, can you please prioritize this one patient because she really wants to get out. I think that's what he did, because I was expressing to him how much I really wanted the doctors to do something and help me figure this out, because they weren't talking to me. They weren't talking to my parents. They weren't doing anything at all, and I was frustrated. And I was like, I want to go home. I want to get out of here. And so that's what happened. So they wanted more blood work done. They wanted to make sure I didn't have, I don't remember what it was called, something. But then they decided that I would be even sicker than I was if I did have what they were thinking I had. And so they let me go. And they put me on blood thinner. I was on Xarelto for a while. And then they gave me some pain medicine as well, I think, to use. And yeah, they let me go. And my parents had a hotel in the city we were in. And so we stayed there that night. My dad knew that I wasn't going to want to sit in the car. And I'm really glad he did that, because it was nice to, one, get a shower. I hadn't showered in 5 days. It was bad. My hair was awful. So it was nice to get a shower, and then it was nice to just sleep in a bed that wasn't a hospital bed. And then next day, we came back home, and I rested a lot. the rest of the week so I could build up the energy to walk on graduation day on May 1st, and I did. I made it to graduation. I still had some pain, but I made sure to take pain meds enough to like get rid of the pain so I could be up there on the stage, and I made it, and it was such an amazing feeling to have made that day and to have been able to walk on the graduation, especially since my last month of my senior year of college was literally stripped away from me from all of this happening. Back in September, I will say, we went back to the same university hospital to talk to a blood specialist who had the answers for me. So basically, the cause of my blood clots, it was not hereditary, thank God. So I am no longer on blood thinner, but I was on blood thinner from April up until September. So I was on it for quite some time, but I'm not anymore. But basically the cause for my blood clots was inflammation in the stomach. So basically the ruptured ovarian cyst caused the pancreatitis, and then the pancreatitis caused the blood clots, essentially. But yeah, she said sometimes that happens, and when that happens, they don't want to keep their patients on blood thinner for the rest of their life. She said I would be fine. I had some anxiety going off of it, but it's been a few months since going off of it, and I've been totally fine. I've had some pain in my stomach since then, but like only very slight pain, and I do kind of freak out every once in a while when I feel any pain, because I do not want to go through that pain again. It was miserable. It was awful. I literally would not wish the pain that I had on any of my enemies ever. Nobody should have to go through something like that. That's my story. I really hope this story can kind of reach people who are maybe going through the same thing that I was, or have gone through something similar to me. Maybe not. It's very rare for a 22-year-old to have blood clots, especially in the stomach. So, I don't know. Maybe it's less rare than the doctors told me. I don't know. But I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry this video is so long, but I just really wanted to put this video and this story on my YouTube channel. Just because you never know. You just never know. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys stuck around for the entire video, comment hospital down below. Comment hospital down below if you guys are still here. So I will talk to you guys in my next video. My upload schedule will probably be every Saturday. Hopefully every Saturday. And yeah, next video you see will hopefully maybe be a vlog. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you're new. Like this video. Give this video a big thumbs up. Tell your friends about this channel, because I want to grow this channel. And I'm also hoping to get to know you guys more. So yeah, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys.